Alright, so to end off today's show, for now at least, I wanted to go over some Rangers and Blue Jackets talk. Because there was an article posted on the New York Post by Larry Brooks earlier yesterday. At night, by the way. Yeah, this was a 7-something p.m. Eastern Standard Time article, and it will be linked in the description. Brooks says here that the Rangers' entire offseason will live and die by the salary cap. The piece is on the New York Post Sports Plus page, so it actually is behind a paywall. You need Post Sports Plus in order to read it. You can read the article by subscribing for free, something, but we're just gonna leave it there. You could check it out if you want. It's available on NewYorkPost.com. But also, helping us out with this entire conversation here is Spectre's Hockey from earlier this morning. Because what Lyle Richardson did was he went out there and summarized most of what Brooks wrote about, so both articles are going to be linked in the description below. Let's take a look at some of the many notes that Brooks goes out there and highlights. He starts out by talking about the Rangers' 2026 first-round pick that they have decided to retain. Their 2025 first-round pick, they already decided they'll send that one over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. He reports the Rangers didn't decide to retain this 2026 first-round pick to put towards signing a rival team's player with an offer sheet. He pointed out the Rangers lack the cap space to make a successful signing, and doing so will put them at risk of losing RFA forward Will Cooley to an offer sheet himself. The Rangers' limited cap space means that they're not in any position to pursue J.J. Peterka of the Buffalo Sabres or Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars. Brooks also shut down suggestions that the Rangers should consider trading Adam Fox, Igor Shesterkin, or Will Borgen before their no-trade/no-move-in protection kicks in on July 1st. He pointed out that each of their clauses went into effect the day they signed their contract extensions. Brooks believes the Rangers would listen to offers for Alexis Lafreniere, however, they are not shopping him. So, a lot of this at the beginning is just kind of vanilla. It's pretty normal. It's just standard Rangers trade talk and conversation. Oh, they don't have money to get this guy. Oh, they don't really want to trade away that guy. It's fine. It's cool. You can say that we are nothing, but you know the truth. Let's move on to the next part, because this is where things get interesting. Teams have expressed an interest in Rangers D-man K'Andre Miller, but very few of the discussions have evolved into serious offers. The Rangers are interested in Columbus Blue Jackets winger Dmitri Voronkov, prompting Brooks to ponder whether there could be a framework of a deal involving Miller. Spectre's note says the Blue Jackets could need a top-4 left-side D-man if Ivan Provorov becomes a UFA on July 1st. Trading Voronkov, however, would then leave them having to find a suitable top-6 left winger to replace him. And this is where I get into my kind of curious territory, because Dmitri Voronkov is a really good player. And I'm such a big fan of this dude, not because I ended up winning, 4 of my 8 fantasy leagues this year, and he was on most of my teams, but because Dmitri Voronkov is almost exactly the kind of guy that the Rangers could be looking for. 24 years old, 6'5", 240, a big left-handed top-6 winger who is signed on till the end of this season and who was a 4th-round draft pick by Columbus in 2019. He had 47 points in 73 games played this year after just one season in the National Hockey League. He found some fantastic chemistry with Kirill Marchenko and Sean Monahan on the Blue Jackets' first line. And alongside of Adam Fantilli, Igor Chinakhov, Ken Johnson, and some others, this Blue Jackets team actually was really strong offensively last season. So Voronkov, who is on the younger side and who can get better, is in a spot where I think if you played this guy with JT Miller, oh my gosh, that's a crazy pairing. You talk about Miller and Besser doing some magic in Vancouver. Miller and Voronkov could do some very good things with the New York Rangers. And if the Blue Jackets are in a spot where they're like, yeah, we kind of need a defenseman, we don't know if Provorov's going to come back, Dante Fabro is in rumors, he's a righty, but still, the point remains, if K'Andre Miller is a guy who is suitable enough to make that exchange, I actually do think that Miller could excel in a Columbus organization that would be willing to give him a pretty good role. Voronkov and Miller are the same age. They were both born in 2000. Miller, though, was drafted in 2018. Was Voronkov an overage draftee? Oh yeah, he was. He was 5 days away from being eligible for the 2019 draft. He was eligible for 2018 because his birth date was September 10th, 2000. Interesting. K'Andre Miller, though, is coming off a year where he had 27 points in 74 games played. 2 years removed from a 43-point season in 79 games. Things have not really been looking all too great for Miller the past few seasons in terms of his health status. The amount of games played he has had has diminished year by year, and he also has been producing fewer points. So if there's a change of scenery needed for what is a big, mobile, left-handed defenseman, a guy who probably you want to see a little bit more physicality out of, but who can bring that when he really wants to. This is a guy who plays a style that I think Columbus could really benefit from. And if you wanted to get more of that mobile type of D-man, you want somebody to go with DMITRI, for example, you want to get guys that can move the puck. I think K'Andre Miller can do that. It's just, based off of the value, I mean, I feel like maybe internally I'm evaluating DMITRI Voronkov a little bit too highly because he was a first-line winger and he was so good for me in fantasy. But honestly, apples to apples, I do think that this trade might be pretty even. It's just you need to see some more top six support if you're Columbus, which I guess is where some of their recent draft picks come in. Right? I mean, the Blue Jackets don't have a high draft pick this year. They're drafting 14th overall. But if you head over to some of the recent draft picks that they have made, I mean, they had Cayden Lindstrom, really strong player. They hopefully want to see more out of him. Adam Fantilli is getting better. You still have Gavin Brindley in the system, who, of course, was a teammate of Adam Fantilli back in Michigan. There's lots to like out of him and his overall profile, although he didn't have really the best season in the Cleveland Monsters organization this previous year. There are enough young guys in Columbus that I think you could argue there is a list of compatible guys that could potentially make that jump. I mean, Cole Sillinger, you still have him. If Cole Sillinger ends up going back to form like he had just a few years ago, then maybe he is a perfect addition to that top six. I don't know about you, but I like this trade idea a lot. And I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your ideas on K'Andre Miller and DMITRI Voronkov? Do you think this is a good one to discuss between the Blue Jackets and the New York Rangers? If you're a fan of the Rangers, what are your thoughts on Voronkov as a player? Would you be interested in acquiring him for a guy like Miller? And if you are a Blue Jackets fan, what are your thoughts on Key heading over to your blue line, assuming Ivan Provorov doesn't end up sticking around? And is DMITRI Voronkov a price you'd be willing to pay? I know there are probably going to be a few Blue Jackets fans saying, nah, I don't want to trade away Voronkov. I mean, him, Marchenko, and Monahan were so good together, you don't want to mess with a line that has chemistry like they do. What they have is special, that Russian connection, not to mention Igor Chinakhov, and of course Provorov. But Provorov, I mean, he's not really being included in this conversation because he might leave. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section either way. Voronkov for Miller, yay or nay, who says no? I hope you enjoyed this video, Trolls 99, and bye.